Alrighty, we have reached NFL Week 12 in what should be another great week. Last week, Week 11, had a really solid week. I want to continue the momentum. There's a lot of teams on the bye this week, so there's only 13 games. But if you're looking at the bye, you have the Falcons, the Bills, the Bengals, the Saints, the Jets, and the Jags all on byes for this week. So it's going to be a bit more of a trimmed down week. But I will say, these picks that I have this week are my favorite picks so far of the NFL season. I like them the most so far. I'm really excited about them, and I think that they're all going to do pretty well. And we're going to start with a division grudge match rivalry game on Thursday Night Football against the Steelers and the Browns. And this is a game where I think in the first half, it's a closer game. It's Browns, Steelers. Steelers play kind of that grudge match style of offense. But the Steelers will win this game, almost near guarantee it. My final prediction of it is 24-14. But I think in the first half, it's a bit of a grudge match, as it usually is with the Browns and the Steelers. But the Browns just really lack a lot of identity this year. Jameis Winston is what he has been his entire career. He's going to hit one or two deep balls that makes you be like, oh, wow, he can play. And then he's going to throw this like bad pick or do something else to the standard. If you look at the other side, the Pittsburgh Steelers are just rolling on all cylinders. Russell Wilson looks good. The defense is never an issue. I'm never worried about the defense with the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's not something you can say for every team. And I think that the relationship between Pickens and Russell Wilson is really starting to hit its stride. So that's a super pick right there. I think the Steelers win 24-14 against the Browns Thursday Night Football. Going on to the Sunday slate, we have Chicago and Minnesota. Minnesota coming off back-to-back ugly wins, and then you have Chicago that came off an ugly, brutal loss to the Packers, where all they had to do was chip in that field goal, and they would have gotten a huge win against the Packers. They hadn't beat them since 2018. And like I predicted last week, they had the game and they found a way to bears it up. They found a way to choke it. But I'm actually going to go with their side in a close game here. I'm going to take them 21-18 against Minnesota. And the reason being is Minnesota has left a lot on the field, in my opinion, in their previous two games. They have not looked that good. And if you look at the Bears, they've been in positions where it looks like they're due for a win. And I think they're due this week. I think Minnesota, like I continue to say, has not played that particularly well the previous 2 weeks. I think they carry that over to this game, and I like the Bears 21-18 in a really close game. I like them 21-18. Moving forward, we have the Detroit Lions and the Colts, and this is a game where Detroit just can't be stopped. They can't be stopped right now. They're in a position where every week it's big game after big game. 52-6, I believe, was the score last week, and they just destroyed the Jags through and through. And it's interesting because when you're watching this Detroit team, they're so good everywhere. Like defense, they're so sound. Offense, you have your reliable number one guy. You even have your deep threat, flashy gadget guy in Jameson Williams. And then you have probably one of the best tandem running back duos in the NFL. It's really tough to stop, and you all combat that with a very capable quarterback in Jared Goff. If you look at the Colts, I thought Richardson had a big statement game against the Jets in a game that he really needed to win. But with him being as inconsistent as he is and with Detroit being as good as they are, I have to take Detroit in this one, 37-20. I think that maybe it could be a close game in the very early stages, but Detroit, as they've been doing all year, they find a way, they pull away from the Colts. Going on, you have a division battle between the Dolphins and the Patriots. The Patriots, in my opinion, have been playing really well as of recent. I think it is very safe to say that Drake May is a definite hit with the Patriots, a definite hit that I think for years to come will be the guy, because you have to look at who he's throwing to, like guys like Demario Douglas, Hunter Henry, who is probably not at the best stage right now, and just a bunch of other weapons that you haven't really seen. He's making it work with them. But Miami has looked significantly better since they've gotten Tua back. They've looked a lot better. Their weapons like Tyreek Hill starting to play better. A-Chain is really coming into his own. I got to take Miami, but it's going to be a really close one. 19-17 Miami. I think it takes them till the end. Maybe the Patriots make it close as well, but I was very hesitant to not take the Patriots here. I almost took them, but I think Miami is a little too much. Give me Miami 19-17 in this one. Going on, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New York Giants, and I've been waiting for a while to give this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team a win, and I'm going to give them one 21-17 over the Giants. And the reason being, they have Tommy DeVito playing in this game, the Giants, and that screams to me they are tanking. Make no doubt about it. They are not playing him because they think it gives them a better chance to win. They're playing DeVito because they know it's going to help them tank. That's why they're playing him. And if you look at Tampa Bay, still playing for something, in my opinion. You look at Atlanta, they've been faltering recently. Tampa Bay is still playing for something. And Baker, he almost beat the 49ers before the bye. He was playing really well. He still is playing really well. I have them. I think it's a no-brainer. I think it's a little close because the Giants do have neighbors, and maybe they get a little bit of momentum from DeVito starting. But I still think Tampa Bay wins this one 21-17. Moving forward, we have the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders. Commanders are coming off losing 2 straight. I thought that they had a really big chance to beat the Eagles in that Thursday night game. Obviously gave away that change of possession at the end on that 4th down that I made a whole nother video on. But I think they win big in this game. Dallas just looked awful. They looked really bad against the Texans. Cooper Rush, it's just not working there. If I'm the Cowboys might be, with all these losses of these players and a lot of people not playing, they might be the worst team in the NFL right now. They're playing for nothing. You have to understand that their coach is McCarthy is probably going to be out here. I think Washington rolls. I think it's 23-10. I think it's 23-3 for a long time. Dallas gets a garbage touchdown or something. I'm so out on this Dallas Cowboys team. Probably won't pick them for the rest of the year. I would have to really see. They have a game against the Giants coming up that I think could go either way. And we'll get to that when we get to it. But I like the Commanders to win pretty heavily. Washington sitting at -10 right now. I would probably take that. I think that they roll. They've lost 2 in a row. They're coming off the Thursday night football game. I like Washington 23-10 in this one. Going on, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, who are coming off their first loss, and the Carolina Panthers, who have caught a little bit of something recently. And if you're looking at Kansas City, I thought they were due. I had Buffalo winning that game. I just figured the Bills were going to find a way to win it. It was in Buffalo. There's a lot of things going against the Chiefs. This is a game where Kansas City's going to roll. They're going to beat Carolina badly. If you look at Carolina, they have played in the 2 games they've won as of recently. It's been the Saints and the Giants, 2 of the bottom feeder teams in the NFL. They haven't gone up against a good team, a good opponent in a while. I like Kansas City to cover their spread as well. I like them to win 27-14. Pacheco might be back in this game. That's a big key for them. And obviously, I expect Mahomes to have a really good game, a comeback effort for them. And I expect them to improve to 10-1. And I expect them to win 27-14. Going on to the next game, you have the Texans and the Tennessee Titans. And Tennessee, I said in the previous video, I don't like anything that has to do with Tennessee. I don't like their situation at quarterback. As I said in the review video, Will Levis takes too many sacks. And you can blame it on the O-line all you want. You can blame it on the coaching schemes. He takes too many sacks. And that's a huge red flag in the quarterback business, and I can't take them to win these games. If you look at Houston, they're coming off a really good performance. Obviously, when Joe Mixon plays and he plays at a high level, they're really tough to beat. And that O-line is shaky on the Houston Texans, but I definitely like them to win this game by double digits. Give me Houston 28-14 over the Tennessee Titans. I just think Stroud finds a way to figure it out. Nico Collins might be back for this game. I like the Houston Texans 28-14. Moving on to Denver and the Las Vegas Raiders. And Denver is coming off some big wins. They're starting to play really well. He is looking a lot more and more Bo Nix like Drew Brees. Every week I see it. Every week he's improved. He's taken a leap every week. Sean Payton just needed the right quarterback. that's what he's done. If you look at their defense with Patrick Surtain and the rest of their unit, they look really solid. I like them to win pretty heavily against this Raiders team, 30-19. I will say with the Raiders, though, Brock Bowers is putting together shattering numbers. If you're the Raiders, you have, and it might be a video for another time, but you have a core that of weapons offensively and defensively. You just got to get the quarterback right there. Maybe bring in one more wide receiver, but Brock Bowers is a huge positive for them. I expect him to have a good game in this one against Denver, but I think they win 30-19 against the Raiders. Moving on to the 49ers and the Green Bay Packers. 49ers have looked really bad, really shaky. I think this is a must-win, though, for the 49ers. And if you look at Green Bay, they really should have lost that game against Chicago. They did not play well in that game. Jordan Love had a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors. And that's why I think the 49ers get this one 28-25. I think it's a battle the whole game, but I'm just looking at it. The 49ers is a must-win for them. Green Bay didn't play that great, probably didn't deserve to win that game against Chicago. And I think that it all comes together. I think the 49ers find a way to pull it out, and they get a win 28-25. Moving on, you have Arizona, the Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks. And in this one, Seattle, Geno Smith proved to me something last week. He had a crazy game-winning touchdown drive. Jackson Smith-Njigba is emerging as their true number one there in Seattle, and that's big to say when you have DK Metcalf on that team. And they played really well, but Arizona has been rolling too much for me to look past them. I have the Cardinals 27-24. You have Marvin Harrison Jr., James Conner has looked really well, and obviously Kyler Murray's legs, what he's been doing. Trey McBride is emerging along with Brock Bowers as one of the better tight ends in the NFL. It's going to go down as just there are really good young tight ends that are coming into the force in the NFL, and I think McBride's up there with all of them. And they've looked really good offensively, but I think it's a close game, and I think the Arizona Cardinals take it 27-24. Going on to the Sunday night football game, you have the Eagles and the Rams. And the Rams, they looked really good, in my opinion, with that weapon core of you have Kyron Williams, you have Cooper Kupp, you have Puka Nacua. With them all in sync with Matt Stafford, and you put it behind that young defense that has really good games, I like them to beat a handful of teams. And if you look at Philadelphia, I've said it time and time again, I think their roster is one of the best in the NFL. Don't love the coaching. I think that at certain points of games, they get out-coached. And I think that's the tale of this game. I think Sean McVay outcoached them. I think that the receivers of the Rams go crazy. If you look at the Eagles, they've been due to lose so many times in the past couple weeks. And I think they're a good team, but I don't think they're good enough on this night. I think the Rams win 30-27 and they get a statement win against the Philadelphia Eagles. Still think the Eagles are a great roster. Still think they can compete when it comes to the postseason time. But in this particular game, this particular week, I like the Rams 30-27. Then you move on to a really interesting matchup in Monday Night Football, where you have Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens, and you have Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers. And if you look at the Chargers, they're coming off a huge win against Cincinnati, where they dominated the first half, let it go, lost all the momentum, and then found a way to win in a big game. And I got to take the Baltimore Ravens, though, in this game. I think Lamar finds a way to win. They need to win if they want a shot at getting back in the division race with the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC North. They need a big win. I think Lamar has a huge game. Watch out for Zay Flowers. I think maybe it takes a Justin Tucker field goal. He's been struggling this year, but I think maybe he gets the one over the edge. I have Baltimore 31-30. I think it's a really competitive game through and through. I think Justin Herbert and that team are playing really well, but I think Baltimore has just a little bit more juice in this one, and I think it might take the leg of Justin Tucker. But I think they find a way to get this win. And that's going to wrap it up for Week 12. I'm really excited for it. Next week, I will be back for Week 13, the Thanksgiving edition. I will see y'all then.